Thank you very much for being with us tonight. It's really an honor for us. I don't know whether you've heard how we presented you, but apart from being an author of this book, you're many other things. You've worked in Meta and in Google, and you wrote. Quite an interesting, from my point of view, PhD thesis about what makes a content viral. And I would love to read it, by the way. I couldn't find it online, but I'm sure I will. But the topic today is more AI product management. And in your book, I read that you describe AI product manager as someone who operates in a space of constant uncertainty, because you have probabilistic models, model drift, constant changes, ambiguous data. Do you think this makes traditional product road mapping, for instance, obsolete? And what should replace the linear roadmap of AI-first environment?
It's a very good question. Thank you all for having me. I'm so excited. So I say that all product managers will be AI product managers in the future. And there are 3 types I identified of AI product managers. So number 1 is the AI enhanced product manager, meaning people in more traditional companies, like a product manager in a furniture company or cosmetics or anything like that, they will leverage these AI tools that we're all very familiar with, like ChatGPT and all the agentic tools in Cloud, etc., in order to become better PMs, in order to be more productive, more impactful, and more efficient. That's category number 1. Category number 2 is product managers that will build AI experiences, meaning I work for a traditional e-commerce company, and I realized, you know what, maybe I can insert an experience in there, like an agent that can help the customers visiting the website kind of get advice on what they should buy. Or I can insert like a smart little widget telling people, hey, given your purchase history, here's the things we think you would like, and here's a discount just for you, personalized. And then there's a third category, which is people, which is what I've been doing, where you work with research scientists and things that are a bit more, hey, I'm going to train models. I'm going to be the API PM. I'm going to be the platform PM. So more backend, more kind of that horizontal line that is powering the experiences and the AI enhanced PM. So my answer is, I don't want to use the word obsolete, but I will say all product managers will be replaced by those that leverage AI. So it's not a luxury whether to leverage AI or not. Like, we got to do it. If not, someone that does leverage AI will replace us, because they'll be better, faster, more efficient. And yeah, we just got to embrace experimentation.
Perfect, thank you. You made a very strong point in your book that AI is not the product, the experience is the product. When we are just so focused on AI nowadays, how do you coach teams to resist this temptation to build the AI features in everything they do? Do you think there are instances where not using AI is the right decision?
Yeah, there's something called the shiny object trap, which means that, we all want to dive into AI. We all want to leverage it. We all want to figure it out. Having a solid PM craft, the traditional PM craft of making a hypothesis, testing your hypothesis, making sure there's a real problem you're solving, and really doing your due diligence to say, you know what, I really don't need AI here, is very, very important, because you'll end up losing money, trust, resources, and time. And, this may really be disastrous. So we need to be very smart, and we need to always prioritize the PM craft, because that's what differentiates us from someone that will just run and use AI for the sake of using AI.
Okay, and how long do you think your book about AI product management will stay relevant?
Well, here's the thing. The initial version had all these tables and tools and techniques and all that stuff. And they told me from the publisher, hey, you need to prioritize and make sure this stays relevant. So I removed a lot of that stuff. And nowadays I have the fundamentals, the theory. I have what people will need in order to get empowered to have critical thinking on their own. And I always say, hey, look, there's this tool now, but tomorrow this may get replaced by this or this or that. it's very funny because I submitted everything, and then the next day, ChatGPT launched Operator, OpenAI launched Operator, and then the next day, DeepSeek came out, and it was kind of like, okay. So I added the fundamentals to equip people to think strategically as AI PMs. So it will be relevant, but I can see me writing a second edition for sure.
Did you use AI writing it or editing it? Or I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I can completely understand, but I'm just curious.
It's a very good question. I wanted to, however, as part of my contract for the book, I had to sign saying nothing will be generated, and they have tools to check. And if anything is generated, I needed to quote the prompt I used to generate it and quote the actual answer and the date, time, and tool. And it was really interesting to me because I'm so used to using AI at work at all times, in content creation, whereas this was like, oh, wait, I'm afraid I don't want to be canceled here. So I didn't.
Okay. Do you see specific sectors which will be most affected by the whole AI boom, or sectors which will be most shielded from this?
I think healthcare, in all honesty, is already starting to get impacted positively. I did this preventive test the other day, and for me to get my results, I had to talk to this AI agent. Like I was forced to, and the agent was talking to me like it was a person. And they were like, "Hey, Mary, thank you for taking this preventative test. Here's, I want to walk you through what you're about to see. And by the way, we identified some things that are not of concern, but you should know. And here's exactly." And it took me a very long time to realize this was not a human. So I was very polite to the AI. So yeah, healthcare for diagnostics, customer service, and for overall preventative healthcare, I think is really going to be good. Number one. Number two, education, right? We're all used to growing up in these schools that are very traditional. We sit behind the seats, having a teacher there, but not everyone learns like that. Some people learn by reading. Some people learn by seeing. Some people learn by hearing. I think there are already schools that are kind of more experimental based on the learning style of the kid, and they adjust the content real time to match the way the kid absorbs kind of learnings and insights. So I think education is really going to have a difference there.
Perfect. I think you've said that AI is both overhyped and underhyped. Can you unpack that a little bit?
Very good question. Well, AI existed forever. Like it's been around literally since 1960. And, people didn't really care. Sure, at some point people said, oh, okay, I speak and the machine can recognize what I'm saying. Great. Or pattern matching. There have been things around that were amazing from a technical perspective, but users were not, resonating with. Whereas nowadays, because we have these experiences coming out, there's kind of this hype, right? So I can give you a little example that I have here. I was just using the ChatGPT voice assistant, and it's just, hi, I'm giving a talk. It's actually a fireside chat for AI. Do you want to say hi to the audience?
Sure. Hi, everyone. It's great to be part of this fireside chat. I'm excited to be here with you all.
Yeah, but wait. I want you to speak more like I speak. So I have a Greek accent speaking English.
Of course, I can do that. Hello, everyone. It's a woman.
Wait. Can you speak more like a pirate with a Greek accent speaking English?
Ahoy there, mateys. It's grand to be joining you for this fireside chat. Let's set sail into the world of AI together.
All right. So my point, though, is what did we do now? That was such a silly thing, right? But because it was an experience that resonates with people and we connect with it, and it's like, oh, God, the pirate speaking Greek. There's this hype that's getting created. So the experience element touches people's in a personal way, and then, it becomes a thing. But I personally think we should have been more excited from the 60s and 1970s. And then now it would be more like, okay, this is kind of the natural progression versus, oh God, this is the best thing in the world. But yeah, that's my answer.
Okay, perfect. You've worked both in Google and Meta. Can you tell us a little bit more about how do you think their approach to AI differentiate from one another?
I can speak only for my experiences, but I feel Google takes an approach that's more sophisticated in the sense that, okay, we want to test things, we want to hypothesize, we want to make sure everything is right before we launch. It may take longer sometimes to launch and iterate, right? But we want to minimize the risk. Whereas at Meta, it was more like, okay, let's move fast, let's launch something. If something, if people don't resonate with something or if it doesn't work, we'll just roll back. So it was a different kind of working. It depends on the personality as well. Some people want the, hey, let's move fast, break things type of thing versus the, okay, let's do the academic way, like papers and like making sure everything is okay. If you ask me, I think I find myself somewhere in the middle. Like, I don't want things to, somewhere in the middle I think is better, where it's like, okay, let's do some testing, let's experiment live. And companies have these departments called labs. Labs are amazing departments because you kind of get rid of any bureaucracy or any processes that take a long time, and at the same time are kind of encouraged to move fast and test things. So I think I found my sweet spot as a PM, and it's kind of working in labs and just experimenting and moving fast outside of processes. So that's kind of my experience.
And why do you think both companies somehow let themselves get disrupted by OpenAI and Anthropic and other companies? Both of them, we looked at them as front of the edge innovators. And anyway, they were just disrupted by other types of companies. Why do you think they let that happen?
I don't know if I can speak on behalf of these companies, but I will say right now the best model that's super amazing is Gemini 2.5. I don't know if people have been trying this, but you can add a photo and change anything in the photo almost real time, which is really impressive. Like, I went to a concert and I said, hey, can you change the t-shirt I'm wearing to this other band? And it was able to change the folds. I uploaded it on LinkedIn and people liked it. So I don't know. I think it's kind of all the companies are racing towards the same thing, and every company is kind of approaching it from a different angle. And it's just so great to see innovation, coming together for this, I don't know, it's the same cause, if you will. And it's also great that hardware is finally where it needs to be, right? We had all these visions about what AI can and cannot do, and now all these things are possible because we have the hardware that has the computational power, and it's just great to experience all the companies, just how everyone approaches these problems.
You also run quite an interesting AI product management bootcamp. And what do you learn from the participants in it?
So I am an AI product manager, and that's kind of, it was, I was doing it before it was cool, as I like to say. And throughout the years, I was interviewing people and I couldn't find that blend of the right technical awareness and the right PM craft, because you need, as an AI PM, to bridge the AI capabilities with what users want. And I realized, what? I don't think there's educational content out there. So I started, running these small kind of bootcamps where I teach people the basics about AI and how, to do that bridging. And to this point, now my bootcamps are massive. I get like 200 people per cohort, and it's people from all over the world. And it's literally people that want to blend these different skills that are not traditionally taught in universities. So you're not going to go to a university that's going to teach you AI awareness and how to be a good PM and strategy. So I tell them, I teach them everything they need to know about AI and product management, and it's been so fulfilling. It's just been unbelievable. And if anyone is interested in learning more, just find me on LinkedIn. I have the information there, or reach out to me.
Perfect. I think we have a few minutes to take questions from the audience.
Absolutely. Who wants to ask a question? I'll ask a question. Do you hear me, Marilee? I don't know.
I think you should use my microphone.
Okay. Добре. Okay, so Mike, I was wondering what would be the place of voice in UX, because we see, especially in e-commerce, that there are some trends where a lot of the UX about choosing what you want to buy on e-commerce websites starts being replaced by voice. What's your take on this?
I lied. I think the question was around where do you see AI really helping e-commerce? Is that it?
No, actually, where do you see the place of voice in AI generated voice in e-commerce? Right? This was the question. In the UX. Okay.
Very good question. Okay, so now I work with voice, right? It's all these voice assistants that I'm working on and Gen AI. Well, the thing is, we're facing a shift, and people are experiencing machines as being more conversational, as being having a more human-like kind of intelligence. And if you embed that and enhance the current experiences with that kind of conversationality, I think there is a very, very big potential, for example, to convince a user to purchase something. For example, let's say I added something to my cart, okay, and you know my previous purchases, you know my previous returns, and you have some agent that can actually speak to me and say something like, "Hey, I think this would be great," or "How about you add something like this?" I think having this opinionated agent is really going to help the user convert, and I'd love to do A/B tests to see if that hypothesis is actually valid. So it's kind of a co-pilot during your shopping journey. And it really adds value to the user because they don't feel it's not lonely anymore. I mean, it's a very common use case for people to go shopping and then they send photos to their friends and family, say yes or no, or medium or large. So you can have AI replace all these things. And there's just so much potential in it.
Okay. Thank you very much. It was wonderful having you. Evcharistopouli, and have a good time in Silicon.
Thank you all so much. Sorry I couldn't be there in person. But yeah, people reach out to me, follow me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to keep the conversation going. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Marilyn. Have a good day. Bye.